Well, Republican governors have been doing what conservative leaders in the United States have done since the 1800s, which is be traitors. They're defying. They've all signed a letter of support for Greg Abbott, for him to play games with our border, to set U.S. border policy by ignoring the ruling of the Supreme Court. Well, I got a way we can hit back. The wicked community's already helping us with that. Admittedly, this is a work in progress. I'm not sure exactly how the execution's going to look, but it's one of those things where no matter how we handle it, the first steps are the same. We've already started, and Pinkerbell, thank you in advance. You did the lion's share of this, but everybody chipped in, and we will discuss those details in a moment. First, I want to do a little quick aside about a group in this country. And that is Southern Leftists. I'm talking Pinkerbell. I'm talking Wireless Mike. I'm talking the good folks over at the Valley Labor Report. It's real easy to be a lefty in Michigan, surrounded by folks who you can reasonably expect to have your back, at least in a political argument. It's a hell of a lot harder when you're in the heart of darkness, when you are surrounded by people who watch nothing but GOP propaganda. Case I have ever given the impression that I feel otherwise. Let me make it clear here and now. The Southern Lefty is the group in the United States that I first and foremost have a massive amount of respect for, and that is any group that is fighting the good fight, even when it's particularly difficult for them. Good on you. Thank you. Please keep it up. To that end, here's some help. Aren't you just sick of seeing stuff like this and then having there be no consequences? None at all. This is from the Republican Governors Association, also known as Scumbags of America. Republican governors band together, issued joint statement supporting Texas's constitutional right to self-defense. They don't have a constitutional right to set the border policy for me or you. The president of Texas is not Greg Abbott. He's the governor. The president of Texas is Joe Biden. None of us like that, but that's the reality. All of this nonsense, useless, other than to say they are explaining why, I don't know, the Civil War wasn't about slavery. They just incidentally wanted to keep brown folks in whatever. No, it's their nonsense explanation, which it doesn't hold up when we've gone over already. No. The useful part is right here, this list they provided us. This list of people whose lives we're going to make much more difficult. We're going to do a little bit of political judo. We're going to use their own corruption against them. You know how it's more difficult for a Democrat to be a business owner and a politician because their constituents will annoyingly be like, oh, well, don't you have a conflict of interest and yada, yada, yada. Well, Republicans don't have that, so they're super corrupt. A great deal of them own businesses. Some of them are large businesses, but you would be shocked at what constitutes a small business. What constitutes a small business to them is any business they own when they are filing for small business loans. That's what makes it a small business. Well. I'm telling you this now because we'll be doing this in stages. The plan is to go look through the small business loans these governors have taken for their businesses and report every single one of them that violated the terms of the loan And because these are Republicans, that means we're going to be reporting every single one of them. Because they have no ethics. They are just a bunch of criminals. This stuff in their mind exists so that they can enrich themselves. Now, if you get ahead of me, I'm going to share the what you can do about it now. So that if you get the opportunity to get ahead of me, you're welcome to do it. And you can tell me how it went. Hold this up. One moment. But what I'm going to ask you to do is, as we build our list, violations, go to this right here. This is the Small Business Administration tip line for reporting waste, fraud, and abuse. You can do it right here. Do it online. And they also have helpful guide for how you can detect fraud in Small Business Administration lending programs. A little helpful guide lets you pick out things like loan agent has a record of early defaults. That sound like the sort of group that declares bankruptcy every time somebody says they owe them money. The loan agent controls all communication between the lender and the borrower. The loan agent threatens to shop elsewhere. Let's see. False gift letters or gift affidavits. How many times have you heard a Republican say, I signed an affidavit saying that I didn't do the crime you said, so I must not have done it. False financial statements, also known to a Republican as standard financial statements. False yada yada. Promissory notes, standby agreements, yada yada yada. All that stuff listed in there. Get familiar. I will be. Whoopsie daisy. Hold on now. Hold on. Try this channel. Here's what we got in the chat. I posted this in the community tab, and Pinkerbell, thank you. Wireless Mike, Snixabia, so many folks wrote in. 007X. Let's read some from Pinkerbell. Doug Burgum is the board chairman of 2 financial firms. Bill Lee was CEO of his family's construction company until 2016. We should still look at that construction company. We can hit him any way we want to. Any association at all with these people should be attacked. Mike Parson describes himself as a small business owner. He's got a cattle farm. And helpfully, Pinkerbell provided a link. governor.mo.gov/aboutgovernor. Great, that's Governor Michael L. Parsons' about page. Voice of One Crying says, this will be quite a project, starting with Kay Ivey. The Nettles and Ivy Foundation, official spelling, seems like an interesting entity. FYI, Kay Ivey is married to Ben LaRavia. It's possible there are businesses associated with her husband's name. Oh, we are absolutely going to do that. And he has linked corporationwiki.com. Well, that's fantastic. If you're interested in this, if you're interested in taking part, number one, go on the community tab of WYCD. There's a post there asking for information. Pick a governor. Have a gander. See if they own a small business. Step 2 is going to be, I look through this weekend. I look through everyone we can find and see if they took a PPP loan. The answer is going to be yes. It just is. They're greedy. They take loans from the government that don't need to be paid back. That's called money. They just take money from the government all the time. And they lie. So they will all, in my let me put this, in my hypothesis, they will all have created fraud, have committed fraud. We're going to report them. I will, on Monday, give you an update with what I've got, even if it turns out it's nothing. Even if it turns out I don't know how to find the fraud. But what we're going to be doing is crowdsourcing this. All of us looking for the symptoms of fraud, and then all of us mass reporting these governors in retaliation. In retaliation for what they have done in signing that bill. Signing that letter. I encourage you, if you can get ahead of me on this, look through that list. Do so. Let me know how it went. What you can do at WYCDnetwork.com. Let me know how it went. But this is the tactics we are using now because I am sick to death of being polite to criminals. In other words, we could have done it like ladies and gentlemen. However,
now we can handle this like some gentlemen, or we can get into some old gangster shit.
That's the time we're in.